People think you need a lot of years of experience to build prototypes or any products. This used to be me until I realized the use of AI coding tools. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to use AI coding tools to make your ideas into reality. So I'm going to use a tool called Cursor, which I'm going to open over here. So Cursor is an environment where you get to make products that you want. In today's video, I'm going to let's make a personal dashboard. So when you open your project and you name it personal dashboard. So when using these tools, it's more of like collaboration. Despite that you don't know how to code or anything about developing a platform, you have to understand what you actually want to make. So the first step that I recommend, so this is going to be depending on who's using it, but when I'm using it and it has gone so well for me, I've built so many applications, personal applications, and some which I'm going towards commercializing. So when I build using these tools, the first step that I do is to go to ChatGPT and describe to ChatGPT the kind of product that I want, right? So I'm going to do that in a moment. Hi Chat, let us make a personal dashboard. This personal dashboard should have a to-do list. On top of the to-do list, we need a notes area, a bookmark area, maybe a weather widget, and calendar and reminders. This is going to be really useful in reminding me to do things and take my notes in a centralized area. So when you give these prompts to ChatGPT, you then tell it that can you make a PRD? So a PRD is a project requirements document, which just talks about what you want in the product and probably how you're going to make it. So as per description, product requirements document, the requirements of the product and how it's going to be made. So you give it to Chat, and this makes it easier for you to build something that you actually want, and you don't have to take everything Chat tells you. Sometimes you have to go back and forth and give it more context on what you actually want, correct it where it needs to be corrected. So Chat gave me this: you're juggling startups, school, networking, planning, and all these things. So since this is not a product that I'm going to be using that much because I already have one, we're just going to copy this and paste it into Cursor. So we can close this. Then we paste it into Cursor. When you get into Cursor, the first thing that you need to do is make sure this is a plan, right? If you give it as a plan, it can better direct it in really planning on what steps your tool would go through. And this usually yields better results, in my own opinion. So after giving this to Cursor, sometimes it might ask you these questions of like, what tools do you want to use? And, more continuation of like questions of like, so that you get to build the exact thing that you actually want, right? And if you don't know some of these questions, you can even just give them to ChatGPT. But in some instances, in terms of like functionality of the application or the way that application is structured, some of these things you should know how it is going to be like, so that these tools build the things that you actually want. Otherwise, they will build whatever they're thinking. So you can, some of these questions, you can give it to chat, and you would continue having this conversation. I don't like Firebase, so one of the things that I'm going to tell it is to use Supabase as the database. Then we are going to copy the response from chat and paste it over here. Sometimes, most of the times, you have to check what chat is even giving, despite that you know what it's talking about or you don't know what it's talking about, because that's how I learned how to do a little bit of coding that I know, which has been great. These tools can definitely help you know more about coding itself. At some point, you come from a beginner to maybe in between in terms of like level of mastery in coding itself. So it's now generating the plan. This took less than a minute to make, which is really great. Now we have a proper plan of how the minimum viable product will look like. So a minimum viable product is a basic structure of what the product would look like. It's something that users can start testing out before you build the whole product. So making a prototype with these things is really great. It even made the to-do list, and now that it has made this, you can now tell it to build, or there is options to make it change some things that maybe that you don't want. You can still change those things. As you can see, it has started running some commands, and it will start writing code in a bit. Despite how fast you are in writing code, you can never write code as fast as these tools. So it's really wise to utilize these tools to actually write code faster, build things faster. It is built like it just wrote 246 lines of code in less than 10 seconds, which is really great. Yeah. So this took about 6 minutes for it to build this whole thing, and now we are going to tell it let's tell it to run the app, and we'll see how it is. Most of the times it's not perfect on the go, so you definitely have to tell it to fix things that won't be working, or if it's working at the start, that's nice. So let's go here. So it's telling us your dashboard is running at this point, so you can copy this since it said it's running already, and you can open up your web browser, whatever web browser you use. Web browser, and we paste wherever it says it's running it. So you see, sometimes it's not the best thing, but this is a start. So you can now tell it that you can even take a screenshot. The easiest way to communicate with these tools is probably using the shortcut, or if you understand the language that much, probably tell it what is probably not going so well. So let's move back to our environment, and then let's put in that that screenshot. Seems like my screenshot did not take well, so we're just going to have to go back and take another screenshot. and we can paste our screenshot in here. It looks like a website in the 2000s. So most of the times it's just waiting for the platform to actually correct things and actually write code, and that's the time that you get to plan more or do something else. You can totally do something else. A nice thing is that usually you can put in your settings, you can set it for it to do a ping so that it calls you when you're around. So right now it had said it's intentionally minimum, but we can modernize while keeping focus on execution. This is one of the important things to actually read your plan. So if you look into this plan, you see that most of the times it was talking about minimalism. So it's basically that's what we gave it to build. So that's why you actually have to go through these things and see what they're saying. So you just finished making the changes. Let's go to the dashboard and see if there is improvements. This is lovely. I like it. Yeah, so now you have these captures, your notes. These are all clickable. Notes come here. Defense. Okay, this is nice. Export data, import data. The time is working perfectly. 37 degrees Fahrenheit. I think this is pretty good, considering that this was all done within approximately 10 minutes. This is great. So you can continue building on these tools. You can now go start editing feature by feature. It's usually wise to do things like at a small scale, maybe one feature, you focus on that feature and build it to the extent that you want to build it. But this is personally a very good starting point, and you definitely can do a lot of edits. You definitely can add more things as you want. And yeah, stay tuned for more videos on how to use these tools as leverage and build more tools that you need on your day-to-day basis.